Had to turn down your street outlaws there.
All right.
Yeah, that looks live to me.
Yeah, we're good.
We are live from Dubuque on the road again, the Go Fast podcast, right here in the garage of Jeremiah Hurst and crew. We're going to talk to them here in just a little bit. I'm Rob Hinckley. Kelly Jeffress is with us, and Jeremiah and the entire Roberts Motorsports gang right behind us. May have a few special guests rolling in a little bit later as well, but we got lots to cover today, and we're going to talk a lot about dirt late model racing and Roberts Motorsports, driver Jeremiah Hurst, all part of Team Dunright, and we'll do that. Go Fast podcast brought to you by 1-800 Water Damage of the Quad Cities. Water, mold, smoke, sewage damage, COVID-19, we take care of it all. 1-800 Water Damage, we restore what matters most. Also by Dunright TV and Security and Dish TV, building your smart home from the TV up, and they're the best in Dish, Internet, Google Nest, Ring, Eero Mesh, Wi-Fi, all your favorite brands. Just give Kelly a call at Dunright. By Varium Racing, if it can race, Varium will have it on the track. Also by Bipster Promotions, check out the Bipster podcast, live streaming and social media hosting, and also by Simply Modified, the official photographer of Maquoketa Speedway. Check out Simply Modified on Facebook for the action photos that you missed. We're glad you are with us. Again, I'm Rob. Kelly behind the camera. We'll drag him out here, and we're just more than honored to be up in Dubuque with Jeremiah Hurst and his crew, and already flooding in. We got over 40 people watching, and we know we're going to have thousands watching on demand a little bit later on, and we're glad you're all with us. And first, so Jeremiah, what are we doing during this COVID-19 thing?
You're looking at it, sitting around.
Watching Street Outlaws. And
Sappy come up the other night. We kind of kept our distance and hung out a little bit and talked. Kind of sucks not racing on a Saturday night and talking that way, but
How you doing, kid?
comes up and talks the garage. It kind of eases the racing a little bit.
Absolutely. Have you gotten into any of the iRacing stuff yet?
Nah, I mean, I'd like to, but I'd probably say some stuff and probably wouldn't be too well liked either.
We'll give you
so.
a hot one. Don't worry.
I mean, them things are pretty expensive for what they are. I mean,
Right.
I'm sure if I ever, had the money to spend on it, I'd probably get one, but that'd be a different time, I guess.
Yeah. So where were you? What was your initial reaction when you heard that things were shut down, that kind of thing?
I didn't think it'd last this long, and I was hoping it wouldn't go all the way into racing, but kind of look at it as rainouts. Sometimes we don't race right now anyway, so I'm just looking at it as a rainout. So.
Well, I was counting last weekend. I think there would have been like 5 events just kind of in our area. I know Tipton would have ran, and Burlington and Davenport, and they would have only gotten 2 in because of weather anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, Davenport, if they probably would have ran, it probably would have been pretty cold, so yeah, it's that time of the year, so.
Yeah. So are you doing anything with car-wise and that kind of thing right now, or are you just waiting for that first race?
Yeah, all we really gotta do is grease it, and then it's ready for the next. We're gonna, hopefully, if Farmer City goes down, we're gonna practice the second. Coming up May 2nd, I think they're gonna let us practice, so that's the only thing I got on plan right now, and hopefully we can race come the 9th or something,
Good deal. How confident is Farmer City right now?
I think it's a go as of I know, but that could change.
It's a private deal, so it's a little different, I guess.
Right. Even though it's at the fairgrounds
Right.
track, it's
So
still a
you're-
little.
You're specifically running the racetrack as a private entity instead of a public forum.
Gotcha. Right. And I know they normally start like in March running practices anyway. And I know a couple of years ago it was even the last weekend in February. The weather looked good, and they said, "Come on out." But a good group it's a good track to practice on, I'm sure.
Yeah, it looks like it. I mean, they did them couple there before they really got crazy on the COVID deal. So, I mean, I hope we get back racing here pretty quick.
Yeah. Well, we got a chance to talk at the car show and all that. Who's all part of your team here?
I got these two clowns, you know. My brother, Ian, of course, dude, Jeremy Roth, and Justin Tharp. I mean, that's really the guys that work. And I got my neighbor, Mike Culbertson. He always comes up and helps whenever I need him. So, and my dad, he helps when he can. And of course, Ken, you know, he likes that he doesn't have to work on them like he used to. So it's kind of eased off his mind, that part. But he's still around for the setup and all that stuff. But
Sure.
we maintain the car.
No wonder he hired somebody in Dubuque.
It worked out for him.
It worked out for him, yeah. As you get ready for the racing season, and like you said, we could be snowed in some years this time of year, but what a whole different ball game this year. We talked about it at the car show and that kind of thing. So now, as far with the new car and all that, let's talk about your schedule. What you and the team intend to do.
Well, I'm still going to shoot for that Lucas Oil MLRA rookie deal, and I mean they're kind of limited. Their couple races are knocked off already, so we're still going to do that. But we're going to try as many races as we can, you know, since we're kind of missing some. So hopefully we don't have to miss a bunch.
Last I heard, the season opener for that was pushed back to Stewart the first part of May, and we don't know if that's going to happen. But how do you like the Stewart track?
I've never been there,
Really good.
so Bobby Pierce went around there pretty good. So hopefully I just do that and we stay up by the wall. I don't know. It looks pretty racy, so we'll see. Never been there, so.
Good deal. Hey, Jeremy, as this new car's being put together and that kind of thing, what did you run into? The pros, the cons, that kind of thing.
I was just trying to get the parts here in time, not have anything get stuck in a terminal somewhere. I mean, that's really, most of the car was together. Stucky does a pretty good job of doing that, so we just had to get the oil lines and everything put on the car, and I mean, really it went together pretty easy. I just had to send a couple things out to California, and that was when they were starting to shut down, so it was like, you need to rush them because I need to get them out of there before you can't get them to me. But other than that, we were good to go.
Not today. Have the last couple 3 weeks? Have you had to deal with any of that with shipping, race car manufacturers, that kind of thing?
Stucky sent us some parts that we got everything. I had to ship some shocks out, so I think he got them today. But other than that, we're good on everything. I mean, we're ready to go racing.
Right on. You guys have had black diamonds before and that kind of thing. Justin, talk about the difference between the black diamond of today and the black diamond of yesterday.
That is not my department.
Oh.
I don't do much setup chassis wise.
Right.
All I do pretty much is tire work. Mount, sight, grind, groove. These two right here are your.
Well, let's talk
Setup.
tires. Yeah, this is going to be a whole different tire deal for you then coming up, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
So what kind of things that are you working on that you've learned already that you can install once the season gets going?
Well, I learned quite a bit from JC, which he's Ronnie Stucky's tire guy. When we were down in Knoxville, I talked to him for about 3-4 hours and showed me what to do and how to do it and when to do it and why, and took some notes on that. So I think we should be all right to start off. Wait for the Hoosier plant to open up so we can get a fresh load of tires and start working.
See, that was one thing I didn't even think about it. So, like Hoosier shut down, a lot of the manufacturers shut down right now then?
Well, Hoosier Midwest, where we get our tires from, they're shut down in Springfield.
Springfield, right.
But I guess the ones in Indianapolis are still open, but that's a little far to go to get some tires.
Right. Dude, how's it been trying to deal with some of the manufacturers? I know we kind of hit on it before, but
It's not too bad. I mean, we're just waiting on Hoosier. Once they open, we get our tires. We got everything to go. It's-
so what's it like sitting around waiting?
Boring.
It's
Watch
the
a
worst
lot of
thing
TV,
ever.
I can tell you that.
We're-
Some home remodeling.
Absolutely. We're in the Hurst garage. Jeremy Hurst, or Jeremiah Hurst, sorry, Jeremy Roth and Justin Tharp and Ken Roberts is just in. Ken, how are you, buddy?
Good.
Good. And Ian's standing off over in the corner. Kelly will get him on camera. There he is.
There's Ian and there's Mr. Ken.
Right on. Good. So Ken, we've been talking about the delay and that kind of thing. So what kind of thing as a car owner goes through your mind? What are you looking at and that kind of thing?
Well, it gives us time to be better prepared, and we fine tune some things and organize some things that maybe we wouldn't have normally got to. So that part's been all right, but we'd much rather be racing. There's no question about it. So even a practice at this point, I
Yep.
just want to do some laps.
Just something. I get that. And what do you guys think about the race in South Dakota coming up? The 2 races in South Dakota coming up. And I know we got some local guys heading that way, but just quick thoughts on that, Jeremiah.
I hope everything works out and they don't get a bunch of hassle and it gets through and everybody can get back to their normal lives, you know? It kind of sucks right now.
No doubt about it. Hey, well, we'll continue talking with the Roberts Motorsports team, driver Jeremiah Hurst. Got some other things to take care of, including, we haven't done it for a couple of weeks, our Racer of the Week and our Guess the Driver. And so our Guess the Driver this week, and I know there's a bunch of you, and we'll get you a t-shirt this time. We still have Done Right Roberts Motorsports t-shirts, some t-shirts courtesy of Andy Nizworski. And this driver is a hobby stock driver, and his card number is a number and a letter after that. And I'll just let you know, he's been racing a long time. How about that? That's the first few clues. He's 50 years old, by the way. He turned 50 in December, and he's a hobby stock driver, and he plans to have a hobby stock ready to run, I know, at East Moline this coming year and around. So hit us up on the Done Right Facebook page if you have an idea, and we'll give you some more a little bit later. A bunch of people watching. Jane Winger is watching, saying always a big Jeremiah Hurst fan. Varium Racing. Hey, Derek Wilson, how are you? And keep watching. We got a bunch of folks that are, and of course you can always watch it on demand as well. Jeremiah, let's talk about when was the first time you got in a late model?
No, my dad he raced late model and I'll never forget it, up at Lancaster. He let me get in it and hot lap it. And then he kind of let me get into it and race it one time in a feature. And I'll never forget the steering wheel came down and got jammed in the steering wheel, and I drove through the infield. But I did pretty good, and I was kind of, pretty good at it. So he just kind of said, well, I'll just stick you in the car. And that's the way it went from after that.
So that was the transition right there, huh?
Yep.
Good. What year was that?
Whew, I want to say 96, 7.
Sure.
Yeah, a couple years after I got out of high school, he still raced, and me and my cousin shared my Uncle Steve bought me and my cousin Jed a car, and he raced Lancaster, I raced Dubuque. My Uncle Steve raced Farley, and sometimes he didn't fare too good. He had a rough go at it, but we had fun, and then my dad, he just kind of thought, well, it's time for him to get out and put me in the car, and I've raced ever since.
We've talked about this before. How did this relationship start with Kenny?
At LaSalle, I'll never forget it either. I was racing that modified for Tyler Madigan and his dad. And he said, would you ever want to race late model again? And I said, it had to be for the right person, Some car owners are pretty tough, to deal with, and, some of them are set in their own ways, and Ken's just easygoing, and, he likes what he likes and likes to have, nice things, and it's perfect. He's perfect. I mean, there ain't nobody better than that. Nobody better than him. So,
what a great history that team has.
Yeah, I've always thought, man, that'd be because Ray dominated, and Herschel was pretty good too. I mean, for Herschel to be all by himself pretty much and then win all them races, that's pretty good. So I mean, Ray won a lot of races in the car, and I figured I had to, kind of step up, and hopefully I follow in the shoes, I guess, but it's pretty tough to do.
We have a question. What's winning the Yankee mean to you? Somebody's asking me that.
Jerry Mackey asking
that's
that.
Your thing?
Yeah, that's when you're a kid growing up around here, that's I always went to the Yankee, and
Absolutely.
everybody's wanted to win the Yankee, no matter if it's bomber, 4-cylinder, or
Yeah.
late model. It's cool to win that. It's it's probably one of the biggest races at the time around here. So of course, everybody wants to win that.
We bought that car 2 weeks before the race.
Yeah, I rolled over pretty hard at West Liberty and busted my ribs and destroyed the car. And Steve Boley had this car sitting down in his garage, and my dad went down and bought it. And I'll never forget the first night we raced it was at Dubuque, and we didn't have time to put weight on it or hardly any fuel in it. We didn't even take fuel with us to the races. We just wanted to get some laps on it before the Yankee. And Dad's like, well, you can't finish in the top 5, so I think I wound up said screw it, and I got 3rd or 4th or something, and I got DQ'd. But then moved on to the Yankee, and I didn't qualify very good, but I had that tire. I spent like 2.5 hours cutting it that day, and it lasted 100 laps, and it brings back memories. I mean, that's some of that stuff is just crazy that it just buy that car and then all of a sudden just a week later and win 10 grand. It was I guess you could say godsend or lifesaver. So otherwise my dad would have been deep in the hole after that, wrecking that race car. I mean, it was everything. Everything was junk minus the motor.
Right. Well, something like that. I mean, you take a look at it and the physical damage, not only of the race car, but also the emotional state after doing something like that.
Yeah, it was tough to see, the car like that, and just it was bad. It's the only thing we had. So.
And a week later, you win 10 grand.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Good. How many Yankees have you actually run?
I won one in the pro stock in '98, I believe, '99, and then 2008 I won the late model. The year after I raced for Keith Simmons, which was another year I had really fast race cars. So.
Don't forget about your 2-seater one.
Oh yeah.
Oh, tell me about that. Tell me about that.
I forgot about my 2-seater win. Some kid from Wisconsin or something. Mike Torrey, he helps with my motors. He said he said, you want to drive a 2-seater? I'm like, I guess, I can't be that fast, but that thing went pretty good. And plus, you don't have the brake. You have the brake, but you don't have the gas, so you can't really. It's fun. It's probably one of the funnest things I ever did. But I won that. I spun out, and then I started because he's like, "You want to use hand control or hand gestures?" I'm like, "No, I don't think this is really going to go that fast. So just hold it wide open, and I'll tell you if it's too fast." Well, yeah, the first corner we spun out, so it was fast. It was quite the experience. I tell you that.
I can't believe how popular those things are, and they show up. And
I'm surprised there ain't more of them because it's a blast. I mean, it is a blast. Especially if you have another racer that was, like I love to do it with Sapi. That'd be fun.
We got to make that happen, Kelly. We got to make that
What are
happen.
we waiting for? How do we make that happen?
That'd be fun.
Find someone who doesn't care about their car.
So, we have a couple special guests here.
Oh,
and,
great, my sisters.
yeah, your sisters, and I promised that I would let you know that this was not their idea. This was my idea, so I had to make sure that was said.
Oh, that's
You're welcome, but I heard there was a conversation about you and podcasts and not asking you, so here we asked you, so here we are. We kind of forced you into it. So
what's up, girls?
Come on in, ladies.
come on in, ladies. Watch your stuff there. Sorry.
We thought we'd bring you guys a little something for the
For the
holiday.
garage, holler,
I see toothpaste.
yeah,
What else?
things you may need.
Oh, that's cool.
Pepto-Bismol, Advil,
Shot glasses.
shot
Right on.
The
There you
important
go.
things, peanuts in there.
Can't have peanuts at the racetrack. Bad luck.
You got green on the race car. Why can't you have peanuts?
He could have changed that a little bit.
Yeah, my dad was a always green guy. That if somebody had a green lighter, that he'd throw it out the window. I mean,
He's throwing one of my green lighters out the window.
I used to be like that too, but I think anymore you make your own luck, you know. So
You're
I
right.
look at it that way anymore.
Mario Andretti started the peanuts thing, but from what I hear, you know, decades ago, he wouldn't let anybody around. Somebody was eating peanuts, and then he went out and crashed or blew a motor or something. He said, "No more peanuts." And
Larry Goldbeck, he never cared. He'd eat bags of peanuts. He didn't care. He didn't believe in that. So
that's great.
I've dealt with that too. So
Ladies, what has it been like racing and your entire lives for the most part?
Yes, well, I hope I don't cry, but no, I grew up with it. I'm obviously older than Maya, and so we spent every night, every weekend at the track, and I was always proud of my dad, and I'm even more proud of him, and proud that Ken came into his life when he did, and you know, we're just super proud. We're a super close family, and we support each other. All the kids go to the races, we all go to the races, and we have a lot of fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Every Sunday before Dubuque, we come up and, you know, celebrate just why the guys have the cars ready, whether they wanted us here or not. We were
Usually
here.
they don't want us to. But we like to support them, and you know, we always supported Ian in his wrestling, and we will do the same for Maya, whether he likes it or not. And usually he doesn't complain too much.
It was weird there that year that he wasn't racing. He was just kind of helping Madigan out, and then we got the chance to, you know, race, and he blew off in that modified, and it was awesome. And then Ken came around, and we all knew he could do it. It just, and did the right stuff. So
We didn't know what to do with ourselves when we weren't racing.
yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
I bet.
Yeah.
When it's like that, and you're racing 3 nights a week, and then you get into the summer and upwards of 5-6 nights a week, and that kind of thing becomes a lifestyle, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
You know, now that we have, you know, we have kids, we can't go as much as we like, even though our kids love it too. But, you know, we still watch as much as we can. We beg these guys to go live for us, you know, if we can't be there. And most of the time they say no. We understand why.
Yeah.
But,
Hey, Ray and Julie Gus are watching, so say hi, Ray and Julie. Glad you're watching, and also, yeah, a whole bunch of others. We got 70 people watching right now live, which is unbelievable.
yeah, I need Ray to come up and sign that door up there that I've been wanting to have him
Oh,
sign
yeah.
Oh, the door up on the ceiling?
it.
Yeah. And was that off the car that he drove then?
That's the last one.
That's the last one. That's the last door with the 12 that year. I think he drove.
Excellent. Ray, you heard that. You got to come up to Jeremiah's garage and sign the door that's up there. Kelly might be able to get a shot at
Of
it.
course, I'm working on it. You'll have it in a second. That door, right?
That door, yep.
Where's Sonny at when you need him?
Yeah.
Awesome. Just looking around the garage and memories. What's do you have a favorite memory?
There's so many. I mean, man, there's a lot of them. I mean, the Yankee, of course, that's because it's so big around here, you know. But there's a lot of races that's, you know, like that LaSalle win with that modified. That's because this is what turned out in the long run, you know.
Right.
So that's got memories. There's a lot of memories with racing with Andy, you know. I think me and Andy that year I raced that 77 car for Keith. I think 80% of the time it was me or Andy that won at all 3 racetracks. So I think he had 15 wins and I had 13 wins, or I could be wrong, but I know I had 13. He might have had more than me, but it was. I think it brought in a lot of people to the races because me and him kind of had a rivalry. I mean, I wanted to beat him really bad, he really wanted to beat me. So it was, and people kind of caught on to that, and you know, bring a lot of people into racing at that time. And I think you kind of need that, you know. Certain, you know, like Soppy and some people, Bauer and that back when they had their beef, you know, that
Yeah.
I think you kind of need that, you know, to kind of keep racing going. I mean, not fighting every night, but you know, good, tough, strong racing, you know. And,
Nothing wrong with a little passion, right?
yeah, I mean it's kind of that part of it's kind of. There's some people that still kind of do that, but I mean it's tough anymore. I mean I guess it's kind of not too many people racing anymore, but that's what I liked about it. You know, I didn't race anybody else but Andy at that year.
Right.
You know, so.
Yeah, and I wasn't laughing at that. Well, first of all, you're an honest guy because other people will say, well, I had the 15 wins and Andy had the 13. But
I know I had 13, but I think he had more than me.
The other thing I was snickering at, Soppy chimed in here. Tyler Soppy says, "I'm in the 2-man car, but I get the steering wheel and you can have the gas."
How do you feel about that?
Well, if he sucks, I'm gonna start punching him in the head.
That's right. That's right. And Christian Baldick is on there. He's rooting for you to get the open show win at East Moline. And let's talk about that. There are a few open shows around this area this year.
I hope it. I mean, Illinois is one of them states that's locked down. So I mean, hopefully that goes down. Both of them go down. So yeah, I really look forward to that one.
Yeah. Well, I know on your original schedule way back when we were at the car show, you had Mars on there, you had Summer Nationals too, and you had the MLRA. What any differences, or is it mostly just the tracks that are different and you change tires and go?
Yeah, I mean, the tracks are going to be different, and some of the tire combinations that they have, like the 1350s, I never raced on them, so I mean, some say that they're different, but I don't know the difference, so because I never raced the different ones, so I will see. I'm really looking forward to East Moline, like I said, and because I mean the 58's got a lot of history there, so you kind of got to show up for that. So.
Boy, we've talked with Ken numerous times. 58 goes back to the figure 8 days, even, doesn't it, Ken?
A long time ago.
It does. Yeah. Marianne Strohmeyer commented in, "Tell about winning in Oklahoma."
Oh yeah, I kind of forgot about that one. My dad sent me down there after the Yankee I won that year with the Pro Stock, and it was like a spooktacular, I think they called it. This is we didn't know that they didn't allow booze in the pits, so we had a cooler in the back of the truck. We got lost. We missed practice night, so my dad was kind of upset. But anyway, the next night we go in there to pull in the pits, and they're like, "What's in the cooler?" And we're like, "Beer and pop." "Well, you got to leave that outside here." So we go in the pits, not thinking of it, and everybody's coming over using our tools, and we're like, "Oh, that's kind of strange. You guys are from around here. You got tools?" "Well, we keep our beer in our toolbox. That's why we don't have no tools." That place is pretty. I mean, it was fun, man. It was total different than around here. I mean, they're total different people.
Sure. And you won?
Yeah, I won.
We were all watching it on video back home because we couldn't be there and in the garage celebrating, and yeah, it was a late night that night.
What was fun about it is the bars didn't close until 5 o'clock in the morning down there, and needless to say, we stayed there until 5 o'clock.
And how long of a drive home after that?
Oh, I think it was 12 hours. I think we stayed the following night, but then we drove home. But yeah, I think it took 12 hours.
Wow.
Jimmy Becker from Hawkeye Bolts and AJ, they drove me down there, and we had fun.
Awesome. Go Fast Podcast live in Jeremiah Hurst Garage, and we're talking racing, and we have our Racer of the Week, guess the driver. We already told you he's a hobby stock driver. His car number is a number and a letter. And the letter is R. I'll give you that much. And he just turned 50 years old last December. His occupation is a laborer. His body style last year, I think he's changing it this year, but last year was a 1980 Malibu. And again, he drives a hobby stock, and he is racing East Moline this year. You can guess on the Done Right Facebook page as we talk with Jeremiah Hurst and team here live from Dubuque. As we take a look at everything going on and how the paradigm has shifted, and hopefully just for the temporary, and you see the iRacing going on and the tracks that they go to, and you look at just the technology and that kind of thing. What do you guys think? And ladies, what do you think of the technology that there is in the iRacing?
I like playing video games. I mean, I don't know if it feels like the same thing, but they say that it does. It kind of react the same. But I mean, I always wanted to try it. Like, the sprint car games. But I don't know about wasting my whole day away playing a video game, but
Right.
my kid would love it probably.
I bet. And guys,
Probably beating you.
Yeah.
and guys, what do you think? Even just you might see partial recording on Facebook or something like that. What do you think of the technology and what the racetracks look like and that
They
kind
look
of
pretty
thing?
realistic. I mean,
Yeah, it
I
does.
watched the one the other night on Knoxville, and it looks like Knoxville. It looks like it races like Knoxville. And they got their stuff figured out.
They've done a pretty good job of writing the code for it, that's for sure. Whoever did that, but
And it seemed quick too.
Yeah.
Like they just kind of stepped into it,
yeah,
like at that level,
Yeah.
which is weird.
whoever did it well.
Yeah.
But to do one of those things, I think you gotta have so much money invested in one of them that
I see Ricky Thornton.
if you
is
want
fun.
to be good, I mean, you're
I
gonna
don't know.
have to have the money invested in
$400
your
stereo
rig
or
or whatever
something.
they're calling them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, people are selling stuff, steering wheel, or $400, and just the pedals are a couple hundred, and you're reading stories. Guys like Jonathan Davenport drove from Georgia all the way over to Oklahoma because that's where he found a rig for sale, and then towed it back so he could get into it. So, but right now that's the only game in town.
Yeah. Video games, yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
What about a winter league? You think a winter league would go good around here? Something that we start around, well, after the dome, because obviously I'm going to the dome, and hopefully you are.
I just think somebody needs to have
As long as we
a
have cars
dome
and
all year
motors.
round.
No, I
so
agree.
it's all
Or some
year.
go-
There's a dome all year round. Yeah, I like
Yeah,
that.
I totally agree.
Good deal. More on Guess the Driver, and we had one guest, Chris Moringer. Nope, that's not right. And Bo guessed again, Roger Winkers. No, that's not right. We'll tell you, he's a hobby stock driver. His car is a number and then a letter R. And again, he's 50 years old. He had a Malibu body style last year, and with a crate motor in it. And he's from Buffalo, Iowa. That ought to give it away right there. Give it a shot. Julie Gus chimes in and says, make sure you have some Coors Light. Ray says he'll come and sign the door. Yeah, I just saw a whole bunch of it sitting over
Cases
there.
on the shelf.
2 cases on the shelf, Ray. So they're all ready to go. And Kevin Feller, we're gonna have to put a bounty on him as far as guess the driver. He gets there.
Did he get it again?
Yeah, he got it again. Yep, Randy Lamar is.
He's the only person who knows everybody.
Yeah, that's true. Well,
You should always shouldn't let him play.
Yeah, I know. I think we may have given him one T-shirt. He put down Tandy Lamar, but I knew what you meant.
Him and Doug had.
Yeah. Well, you look on the Facebook page and then all the nostalgia, and somebody will post a picture, and they know.
He's got some pretty old ones, like that Drosky one he had, and he Skip Kennedy, I think. it was.
Skip Kennedy, yeah, who we just lost recently, I heard. And who's the guy? John LaFriend has been posting a lot of things and a lot of West Liberty pictures and that kind of thing. And Feller and Hack are just like that, they know. But I beat Hack on one earlier this week. I knew who it was.
That's impressive.
Yeah, you probably should have let them two play.
Yeah, really. Yeah, Hack must have been getting some coffee or something because I beat him to it. As you take a look, as you decided to venture into the open concept, what was the thought process behind it? What was the decision and that kind of thing?
That was just pretty much up to Ken. He calls the shots, so we'd always wanted to do it. So
Jose, you didn't have to twist your arm.
no,
right?
he didn't have to twist my arm.
Good. What do you guys think about it? Obviously, a step up, a lateral move in some areas, but obviously a step up in many areas too.
I'm ready for it. New challenge. We got a car owner, we got a driver, we got a crew that likes to work. We're just as good as anybody else out there.
Yeah, I think it's a
We
good
hope.
challenge. I mean, I think we've done everything else, so it's time for something new.
They got a great cheering squad, cheering.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
I mean, I don't think we have anything else to prove, so proving ourselves there is better.
When did the talk start that you were going to take this direction?
Last year, I believe.
Burlington.
We wrecked that car at Donaldson, went to Burlington, had a talk, won Burlington, and the ball kept rolling.
Good. Well, I guess the first race you go to, you start talking bigger again, and you're going to win it. If
You
it all takes
dominated
is-
Burlington too, didn't you? Wasn't that a pretty good
It was a
night?
good race.
You guys just had
We
a
were
good
out there
car, you
for
had
a
everything.
while. There was a late caution that made it closer than
Yeah.
I would have liked, but we were good. I think we were better at Donaldson the night before it hit the wall. But
So what track are you looking forward to going to that you haven't been?
Wheatland, Stewart, that looks pretty racy.
Oklahoma. High Banks.
Yeah, that's Selena High Banks, that looks pretty fun. I mean, I'm looking forward to all of them, to tell you the truth. Especially around here, you know, hopefully I can, you know, maybe win one of them, you know, hopefully. Like Farley, I feel really comfortable in the new car there. On the circumstances of the racetrack, it was that practice day. So, I mean, what we did, I feel like we made some gains. So, I mean, hopefully what we've picked up and what we're going to get fixed is going to make us better. So, yeah, I just want this Corona shit to stop.
I don't blame you. Hey, and that was going to be my next question. You know, you had the car out, one of the few that were able to do that. What'd you guys think that day and go from there?
I didn't want it to stop, to tell you the truth, but his tires were all used up, so I had to put it away. But I mean, I wish we could have, you know, went the next week, you know, if that's the way it's going to keep going, you know. Just a couple cars, we all kept our distance, you know. I don't know why they just didn't, you know, keep it going, let everybody have a chance, you know. But it is what it is. Like, I'm glad I got the jump, you know. It helped me out.
Dude, what did it look like from the pit aspect? How'd the car look?
if you base it off the times that Jonathan Davenport ran at the Lucas show last year there, we're in the ballpark. So,
For your first time out, you're pretty happy with it?
yeah, I mean, compared to those times, I'm happy with what we got.
I've asked Ken this question before, and I'll ask you, Maya, and the guys. You take a look at the high dollar teams that run the World of Outlaws, Lucas, and even some on the MLRA, and they go out and run and take the chip off, go plug it in the computer, and get all the data on the computer. And I know you guys don't do that, but what's the mindset as far as competing against teams like that?
My dad told me when I was first started this shit, they put their pants on the same way you do, so that's the way I look at it. So
We got our own computer sitting on the couch over there.
There we go.
Ken takes unbelievable notes.
yeah, I forgot about that too. We just fall back on Ken. He remembers everything.
What, we used to
I
set
don't
up from
think
10 years ago or something?
I don't think we've ever unloaded somewhere where we didn't have notes.
Thank
It's
God,
something
Ray
to judge it
won a
off
lot of races.
And hopefully we're just getting closer and closer to being able to race. And what does it take now to get the car and we kind of talked about this a little before, get the car in the hauler and go.
It takes a little bit to get the car in the hauler since I can't really get it up here, but I mean we just hurry up and get it done and get on the road. Now we want to do it faster. Like the practice day, we were loaded up at like 9 o'clock in the morning just to go to Farley. So I mean, I wish I had a little bigger shop so I could, when times do get rough, that I could just take, if I had to switch motors, but well, I think we got it, we can handle it. You know, it's tough to get that big old hauler up this little ass subdivision, you know.
What made you want to go to the bigger hauler? Just because you knew you were going to be traveling?
I think just, yeah, so everybody kind of has, I mean, we get along pretty good, but being that confined in a small space all the time, we don't like each other that well. But
So you social distance then, right?
it helps to have a little bit of space, your own
Comfort.
little space in
Comfort's
that
a big part.
sense.
If you're running up and down the road 7-8 hours, you want to be comfortable, have room, get up, walk around.
And you pretty much have to have that big of a hauler to have your whole garage and just the trailer. Because you're on the road, so you're going to have to fix your car in parking lots or at the racetrack. Just a little trailer, you ain't going to be able to get all that stuff in there. So
How many tires do you expect to carry? Like if you got to go to Wheatland or something like that?
I think we can hold 30.
Hold 30 or 32 mounted tires in that trailer. It's a lot of tires.
It's a lot of tires.
We could use new tires every time out for when this.
And then you got a whole complete body on nose and a whole other car. And it's just, it's nice that you can, when you do have problems, you can just unload that car that you know that it's nothing's going to happen, you know, in racing.
Right. Boy, they're really dissing on Tharp on.
The haircut?
Well, no, actually, one was a compliment. Said you look badass, so that's good.
Oh, his hair?
that came from Callahan and Corey, and yeah, and then Travis Denning is saying sit up straight.
Yeah, just the chairs lean back.
There you got it, Travis. He is sitting up straight, chairs leaning back. Talk about the car. For obviously, what stands out is the number and the design and that kind of thing.
I like it. I mean, Stucky said he thinks that we have probably one of the best cars he built. So hopefully that pans out, and he's right. It feels really comfortable. I mean, I love the colors. I mean, Ken likes the stuff nice, you know, so we try to keep it nice for him.
Sure. And who helps you? I know you got a million sponsors, but
And Bader Construction, Preston Telephone Company. We got a couple new ones, Nutrien, Ag. Romer, he's always been on Ken's cars.
always been on 58. Yeah.
I mean, there's Capri, of course. My sisters, actually I didn't know, but that Fagan, he sponsored me for like 19 years or something. I didn't think that was that long. I can't believe I've been racing that long, but he's been with me a long time, and I just finally realized that this year when they told me he sponsored me for that long. So
Amazing.
he's been with me for a long time. So
And what sponsors that?
Capri College.
Capri College, huh?
And he don't really care where he's at. He's always on a different spot. So, I mean, that's nice. I mean, then I got A&E Freight. Of course, Kelly, you know. Kelly just got into it, and I'm glad he picked me.
You guys picked me, Ken called me, so.
Well, I'm glad.
I mean, you guys got me into this, like I said earlier after Keith passed away, that, you know, Keith just asked me to sponsor a car, and I didn't even know it was a dirt track. I had never been to a dirt track, and I'm like, well, how much is that gonna cost me? So I wrote him a check, and then I didn't go for a year or two, and then finally I went, and then the one day that I stopped to see you guys in East Moline, Keith was there, and then he seen that I was on your car, and he's like, how the hell did you land that? How'd you pull that off? And I'm like, I have no idea, but I kind of like it. It's pretty cool. That's me on that car. Yeah, that's me right there. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, it was a mutual friend that I had worked with a long time, Jason, and Ken had called me, and he worked with me because I was having a little bit of a rough time as far as cash flow. We worked out a deal, and it all worked out great, and I love it, man. It's one of my favorite things to do, to hang out at the track, and I wish we could get out there. And it's you guys. It's the way you guys work together and stuff is like, for a business owner, it's insane, because I look for that on a daily basis. And you guys, it's so natural to you guys. It's amazing. It really is. And you know, and having support like Ken and you guys' passion is second to none. And that's easy to get involved with, man. You know, I mean, like a magnet.
Do you have other people that call up, say, hey, can I help you on the car and that kind of thing?
I got some, you know, not too many people. Like, her boyfriend always thinks he knows something, but he don't know nothing. He always has to come up and give me some hard times. My cousin Chad, he comes up and gives me hard times. I got a lot of people stopping in and out, which is, you know, fun and fine.
Miller.
Jeff Miller, he comes in and gives his 2 cents. And there's a lot of people that stop by and, you know, sit down and bullshit.
But if you had the 2 cents for everybody to put in the 2 cents, you'd have.
If I had for everybody that said, I'll help you, I'll sponsor you, I would probably not be here. But yeah, I'm glad this whole deal worked out. You know, after this, I'm probably not, you know, I'm getting pretty old, and after Ken, I probably would get maybe help somebody if that comes to it. But this is probably I won't ever drive for nobody else but Ken. So.
And you take a look at how it's progressed, and you still got the guys like the Leroy Brenners and the Gary Webbs that are still racing, but the guys like Ray Gus and Ray Gus Jr. and all that, as they get out of the driving, then boom, they want to get in and help other people. So I know it's going to be hard to take off that steering wheel for the last time, but
hopefully I can go until as long as Gary does, and Ray did. And I know I'm not there yet. I mean, I'm sure I'm going to know like they all did, but Gary's still going, so he, but it'd have to be. I don't know. I don't want to quit anytime soon, so hopefully Ken don't either.
For sure. As you take a look at how the late models have, just progressed as far as it's more than just slapping a car together and going out. The technology and setup and that kind of thing, and just the choice, whether it's the Black Diamond that you have, or Rocket or something like that. Just talk about how that's progressed since you got into a late model the first time.
I mean, I used to spend so much time on a set of scales and a couple days on them, and now that I look back on it, the technology just came so crazy that I hardly ever put them on scales anymore. Just to see what the weight is and where the percentages kind of are, but you don't even go off that anymore, really. Just the stuff that that you don't even have to worry about on a race car is what that the times, stuff that you don't even have to touch that it ain't gonna fall off. Otherwise you're spending time tightening stuff up that you don't really need to tighten up and worry about. And just concentrate on the things that you have to worry about that usually cost you races, and which that is always something stupid and small, and it's hard to catch some of them.
But what kind of things?
Power steering lines get a hole in them, and brake line, or $2 fitting cracks. I mean, that's what happened at Knoxville. One of the fittings on the oil tank was cracked and leaking oil, and just stuff like that. $40 to $5 fitting cost you to repair a motor, stuff like that.
Sure. And one thing you mentioned was power steering, and some people, I've talked with fans about that. Oh, power steering, but the way these cars are anymore, power steering is an absolute
It's one
must.
thing to drive a car with no power steering if it still has fluid in it, but if it leaks all the fluid out, racks kind of catch and cavitate. And, I ain't wrecking no race car over that.
I don't blame you. Yeah, I watched a couple videos, and one of them was maybe 2015, 2016. You win your first Deary race, like in 14 years or something like that at Vinton. Do you keep track of that stuff? I haven't won a Deary race in 14 years and that kind of thing.
Nope, I don't. I never really raced a lot of that IMSA stuff. I did, like that year with Golbeck. That was my first. I won at Burlington, that my very first Deary race. And then the following year, I won the Super Nationals with my dad. He bought a car off of Kurt Beckler from Vinton there, or Tiffin, I guess, a Rocket, and we raced that thing. I don't know, 9 years, I think. I mean, it was 02. I think we raced it
2
till.
or 3 stops.
Well, I guess 07. 07 is when my dad raced it out of Farley, and he about
It died.
the car died. My dad about died too. It was a pretty horrific wreck. He must have been like Dale Earnhardt or something. He never liked to tighten his belts up or something. But the steering wheel. I wish I would have saved the steering wheel. It was completely flattened, and he was bleeding. And I'll never forget it. But yeah, that car was done after that. But he put it together, so I guess he deserved to wreck it. I guess so. It was his car.
Yeah.
So. But yeah.
Last week we were talking with Dale Fishline. He still has the shifter off of his first stock car, like from 1978, 79, something like that. You keep stuff. I know you got the door off of Ramey's car, but you keep stuff like that.
I keep stuff that sticks in my mind. like that 41 door that I modified. That I'm glad they gave that to me. I was hoping I'd get that, but I mean, just small things, you know. I give a lot of trophies away, but I keep the ones that got a lot of memory, you know, something to me, I guess, you know. But yeah, I don't keep a lot of stuff, but majority of the stuff kind of, I guess you could say, sticks in your heart, I guess.
Absolutely. But starting to round up here on Go Fast podcast. We're in Jeremiah Hurst garage with Robert Shea, and I didn't even offer my seat to you ladies. I'm sorry. But we're having a great time. Ken Roberts with us and the whole team. So a couple things before we start wrapping up. Local racing birthdays this past week, and you guys feel free to add on. Steve Bowman, I know he's watching. We're going to have him as a guest next week. Steve, happy birthday. Jason Regal had a birthday this week. Mike Mataragas had a birthday. Brenda Montgomery, happy birthday, Brenda. That's Britt Montgomery's wife. Carrie Rupp, happy birthday, Carrie. Ken Reamer, our buddy from the ice racing that we did over the winter, also had a birthday this week. And his birthday is on he and his wife's anniversary, same date. Brent Sievertson, happy birthday, buddy. I know you had one. Justin Yarlam, also a birthday this week, along with Mike Goldenfenning. Dustin Wilwert, Rance Powell, and the great, we were just talking about him, turned 71 years young, Gary Webb, also had a birthday this past week. I believe it was April 14th. Really? From the, and he has 3 cars in his garage.
He's got more equipment now than he's ever had.
He's hardcore.
He is. He's got cars because he wants to run all the open shows at East Moline and Davenport and that kind of thing. From the racing world, Dan Drynan, the IndyCar driver and midget from the midget world, had a birthday this week. Jeff Andretti also. And Mel Kenyon, who originally was from Davenport, the midget driver, and for the last several decades has lived over in Lebanon, Indiana. Was born on April 15th, 1933, and from what I hear, still going strong. Mel Kenyon with a birthday this past week. The Jet, Johnny Sadoff, had a birthday. Jeffrey Bodine, former NASCAR driver, born this week in 1949. Al Unser Jr. celebrated a birthday this week. And also the late, great David Rogers, who just recently died of cancer, the Florida driver, raced Xfinity, ARCA, and he was in 9 snowball derbies. He also would have had a birthday this week. So we start wrapping things up in Jeremiah's garage. Let's see, we got a question. Could you ask him what the problem was with the flat black 41 modified? Just curious why you went backwards almost every race.
We won in that once.
I won once.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. I was concentrated on Ken's deal, but yeah, that's just.
Yeah.
Sometimes you get cars that just don't work out, and it just didn't fit what I was doing to that car, and it was just totally different than that car was, and it just didn't work.
And that happened. Do you still have people coming up asking you to drive? I know you got Ken's deal going, but want to drive too?
I think they know that I'm happy where I'm at. So I mean, I did a couple times I got asked, and I drove a couple modifieds, but nah, I'm happy where I'm at.
I don't blame you. Now, this year, I mean, we've talked about doing the open thing and all that. What are your any specific goals for 2020 once it gets rolling?
I always try to set a goal, but probably a little steep. But I like to try to win 5 races, open races if I can. And I'm going to try to win that rookie deal. And even though I don't feel as a rookie, but compared with racing against them guys, I'm going to be a rookie. So we'll see.
Yeah. Hey, do you get to talk to? Have you talked with any of those guys? I know Chad Simpson has been good on that tour and that kind of thing.
No, I don't really talk to too many people. So I'm sure once I get racing with some of them, maybe we'll talk. But I'll talk to Ken and my guys, and hopefully it works out.
Good deal. Well, this has been a blast. Appreciate you guys opening up your garage and letting us come up and check this out. And ladies, thanks for stopping in. We appreciate it and look forward to seeing you at the track. And you got a ton of fans. We're just watching the the stuff scroll here, and what do you got to tell your fans going into the season?
Down. A lot of nights we're probably going to be fighting, and hopefully that's good fights.
Fighting to the front, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I just hope we have a great year. Not have too many big failures or, you know, motor problems, or because if you start having problems, then it just, you get behind the 8 ball, and then everybody's mood gets, you know, on the down. And I like to hopefully stay on the upper part of, you know, the side of racing and not get so down on myself or the car, or, you know, just have a good solid year. That's all I ask for.
Excellent. Well, again, we appreciate you opening it up, and Ken, thanks for, as always, for having us as part of your race team, and we look forward to seeing all of you hopefully here in a few weeks.
No, hopefully.
Hopefully. Kelly getting some final shots.
Yeah, I'm getting some final shots of all this cool stuff on the walls and trophies.
Hopefully he's not giving away any secrets.
Yeah, well, am I giving away secrets or is it decoys? Who knows, right? There's the question.
We don't got no secrets.
No,
Ken's got them all in his notebook.
Ken's definitely got a notebook. I've never
So
seen
Ray had
notes
all the
like that.
secrets.
That's right. Ray, and I'm sure Ken learned a lot over the years as well. But yeah, it's all locked up in the safe. That's why you had to get the big haulers for the safe for his notebook, right?
Yeah, his
I haven't figured out how to get the safe open yet, but once I do.
the safe ain't big enough for his briefcase, so.
No.
Well, Kelly, this has been a blast, hasn't it?
Oh yeah.
So we wrap up again. We thank everybody from Roberts Motorsports, and Dunright is just very proud to be part of that racing team. We look forward to seeing everybody out at the racetrack as soon as it opens, and cheer on this team and this driver. We're going to have a great season with them. So for Kelly Jeffries, for everybody at Roberts Motorsports, I'm Rob Hinckley. Checker flags out. Good night. We'll see you next Monday. God bless.
All right, I guess I have to stop this thing now, right?
That's your cue, Kelly.
Yeah. Well, thanks for joining, everybody.
Thanks for doing this.
Yeah, thank you. You guys are awesome. I can't wait to get out there with everybody. And
If we wouldn't have done this, I'd be in bed by now, so.
all right.
I knew you were freezing.
You're the one that turned the heater off.
Alright, we're also
I
gonna
thought
go
they'd get
back.
too hot.